here on the left, upper left corner right now in the gray box, but there will be after this recording. You will see a square here, and you can even import media in here and bring in other clips. You drag them down to the bottom on the timeline, and then you press play here, and it shows what you've put together. You can edit there, you can put transitions, wipes, fades, all that stuff, and you can get very, very creative with it, although there's a point of diminishing returns, because after a while you're going to be polishing the most perfect video that nobody's ever going to see if you don't get it out there. So done is good, and don't get hung up on it. It needs to be a Hollywood production. Less is more. I'm sitting here showing you the inside of my keynote, and you can see my other slides along the left. I'm not even hiding them, and nobody cares. Believe me, 1 out of 1,000 people might care. But if it causes you to spend so much extra time, what's the point? Just leave it alone. Just do as quick and simple as possible. So you can use Jing, and the limitation about 5 minutes is actually helpful in the beginning, because sometimes there's two problems with people starting out with video. They don't know how to start, and then when they do, they don't know when to stop. They just keep talking and talking some more, and they don't know when to end, and it's just, you're like, it's killing me, just stop. So by having a 5-minute deadline, you got to get in and out and make your point, and that's it. So you can put together a slide that says not everything you ever wanted to know about blogging in one video, because that's too long. You might put how to install a blog theme, for example, right? So you have an in and out thing that you're talking about, and when in doubt, just leave it out and make another video. When in doubt, leave it out. Less is more. Some of you will heed that advice. Some of you will go on your director's binge and direct the heck out of something and make it a 75-minute epic with slides and moving. We're going to make this TV here, this little icon, zoom in and then bounce up and down, twirl around 3 times, and then disappear in a puff of smoke. And then these words will come in like a typewriter. I mean, it's just, nobody really cares. You might think it's hot, but it really adds so little to the bottom line that I stopped doing that stuff a long time ago, because really nobody even remembers or cares. What they care about is that you are making a video and that there's content. So we want to make sure that we get in, get out, and have a plan, and we'll talk about planning out your videos using templates in a moment. So how do we set up and light a camera shoot instead of a screen capture? Well, you're going to need a couple things in order to do that. First of all, you're going to need lights. Then you're going to need some lights, and you definitely want to make sure you have lights. Okay? I don't care if they're regular lamps around your house with the lampshade removed, or expensive video lights, or if you just went to the Home Depot and got the clip-on painter's lights with the big silver background, looks like a half of a circle, half of a sphere, I should say, like the inside of half of a basketball or something. It's shiny and reflective, and they clip on. They have little clamps on them for work. They call them workers' lights. Just lights, lights, lights. You can't ever light anything too much. You'll never hurt your video quality. Nobody's ever going to say, "Wow, that was just too bright." Have you ever said that about a TV shot? Ever? No. But how many times do you see on those shows, like those amazing animal video shows or something, where the host will be talking about this next clip where the sleeping cat falls off of the TV is hilarious. Now watch. And it goes from a well-lit host shot to a very dark and grainy, you can barely make out the difference between the cat and television and the background and the sofa. It just all looks like dark lumps, right? Because that's what happens when you go from a professionally lit studio video with a set, or a guy's talking on a set with lots of lights, plenty of lights, and then you move to a homemade video. You see, with hardly any light. So it does make a big difference. Light and audio give you quality. That's another reason I like screen captures to start with, because you can use a headset mic and your audio's there. It's a little bit harder to do audio with the camera. You're far away from the camera. Maybe you have to plug in a little lavalier mic and you run the wire. It's just a little more complicated. So I think you could make a fortune and never open up a camera. But if you're dying to use a camera, you really want to show your face, then light the heck out of it. And you're also going to need something very important. You're going to need a tripod. That keeps it steady. Don't have your friend using the handheld, because you're really, really going to look amateurish. Another thing you want to try to do is center your shot. That means most of the frame should have a person's face in it. So let me show you a centered shot that I've done. We're going to go to our community site over at marketerlink.com, and I have some videos right there on the front page that I have residing, so I'll just scroll down and show you what I would consider a well-positioned shot. Now you can alter this if you want, zoom in a little bit or zoom out, but while we wait for that, I'm just going to give you a couple quick notes. You only want to leave a little bit of room at the top and on the left and right side. You want to be in the middle, and most importantly, you want to be facing straight on, unless you're doing a pseudo interview where you can turn 3/4 and look like you're looking away from the camera. So if you're talking directly to the camera, look straight ahead. If you're looking to the side of the camera, like sometimes it looks like somebody's answering an interviewer, then that's a great way to show that you're talking to somebody even when there's nobody there. So let me actually log in here and show you a shot. Just take a second for it to load up. People ask, what kind of cameras can I use? Well, any small HD camera would be great. You can also find what's called a flip cam, and this is very, very cool because it has a USB built in. So an HD camera is going to require some kind of wire. As of the time I'm making this video, they don't quite yet have Wi-Fi for cameras, where you just record it into the camera and then push a button and it magically floats along the air like it would, they have wireless printers now. I remember the days where they didn't have a wireless printer. You had to plug your computer into the printer. Now they have a wireless network, so your printer can be in another room and you just catch it over the air, right? But HD cameras still are going to require a wire connected to your computer at this time, anyway. So one of the cool things about the flip cam is that it has a built-in USB tab on it. It costs maybe $100, and when you flip this little switch, the USB plug comes out and you plug it right into your computer. So it eliminates the need for a wire. That's a very, very cool function. So here's a shot, for example, and I'm a little bit to the left because we have an over-the-shoulder shot. Plus you can see right here it's called a lower third, and I'll tell you a little bit later what programs I use to do that. Now here's a screen capture video that I did, and this is actually being served from